Nec pluribus impar, everybody. Welcome to it. It is episode number 4 of the OMU podcast. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed our previous 3 podcasts. I know I can see on LinkedIn, everybody gets excited every second Wednesday. People are tuning in and they're watching. And today is no different. We have another old boy who is plying his trade all the way up in Johannesburg. So we went all the way to Charlotte, we went to Germany, now we're back home in Johannesburg. We've got a gentleman who is a mastermind and a wizard when it comes to construction and quantity surveying up in South Africa. Just a brief profile on him. He matriculated at OMU College in 1993. He has a national diploma in building, and that was at the old PE Tech, Port Elizabeth Technikon up in Somerstrand. It's now called NMMU, and he achieved that in 1996. He's got a bachelor's of technology in quantity surveying from the same Technikon, and he's also got a certificate in coaching and mentorship. So, guys, we are talking to heavyweights here. We are not here to play. The purpose of these podcasts is to encourage the boys that are still at school to see, or give them a canvas rather, of what the type of man that Mio makes. So I've got none other than, I went to high school with his brother. We were in the same grade, same everything. I've got to put Nyameko Magongo. But Nyameko, how are you?
Good, madam. And yeah, no, thanks for this session.
Okay, so let's start off light. I remember the first time I met you, it was back in 2001, and you were bringing your younger brother, Umfundo, to the hostel. And I was like, hey, this guy is serious. So take me back to when you first arrived at OMU College. What was your experience like?
Sure. I mean, in a nutshell, it was a good, in hindsight, obviously, these things you tend to ping. It was a great experience. But I remember, I mean, my first day being dropped off by my old man in Jan of 1991. I mean, the country was going through pretty much a very interesting period. So there was a lot of uncertainty. But within a couple of months, I mean, Mio became home.
Yeah.
So I've got fond memories of obviously being dropped off at the hostel. So it really ingrained you into Mio. But yeah, it was a great experience. Still cherish the time spent.
Okay, so going back to the hostel, obviously now these are generations of Magongos going to the school. So the second generation, which would be Umfundo, how different was the hostel when you came back to drop off your brother as compared to when you first arrived there?
Look, I think it was much more chilled. I think there were more liberties for them from Fundo, for you guys. I think, but I think what was good at the time when I dropped him off, the pecking order system was still at play, and I think that for me that was the cornerstone of OMU College. If you survive that system, then you're worthy to be called a man amongst men.
Yeah. So in life, right, we go through different phases, we meet different people. I want to know, how has OMU College helped you in crafting you to become the man that you are today?
Sure. I know earlier on I mentioned the pecking order system. I think when you are in the mix of things, you really don't you are too much into the detail. But with hindsight, in terms of the space I am in, and I mean I said respectfully, it's not a soft space. I mean we do hard things, we do engineered things, we deliver physical things as much as they start on paper in terms of design. And through your college, and in particular that pecking order of knowing who you are, where you fit in the bigger scheme of things, and staying in your lane, issues of leadership, issues of accountability, issues of self-drive, even servanthood, showing up, excellence, and most importantly, which is something I find to be a challenge. I
Yes.
mean, at the level I'm at with other counterparts, it's the issue of social emotional intelligence.
Mm, mm,
So for me, whether it's still a strong system for the boys, that pecking order system, I think it's a system that, looking back, it should be cherished.
mm.
That it's really there, given the likes of us, nuggets. By the time we got into real adulthood, real manhood, leading various people, organizations, projects, etc. Uh, some valuable lessons.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that at hostel, we go through, we do a lot of things, right? A lot happens in the hostel.
Mhm.
Some spoken, some unspoken. But I want you to recount for me one of your fondest memories. We're gonna go to the other ones of the things that are untold. So I want to know from you, what are some of the fondest memories that you can remember from your days at OMU College?
Look, for me, being a hostel boy, I mean, when you were there, you quickly got to understand the value of food. You know, I mean, you could trade things that others, liked and you didn't like, and you could place value on
Yes.
those things, and good pocket money, in addition to what your folks might have been sending you. So for me, when I look back, I mean, I think of those moments where, the hostel cafeteria, or the back, during tea,
Yes.
um, trade, you know. Um, so those moments on the sporting field, I mean, as I said, I am a serious oak.
Yeah.
I've always been serious, even at school. I think. So I mean, some of the games, I mean, I remember, yeah, Caster will probably not appreciate this, but you know what? We've grown up now. We can talk about it. I remember when he got us all excited, he was about to score.
Yeah.
He went past the try line, and he went past the deadline, into the next field, during a rugby game. And we ended up, I think, losing that game, and we needed his point that we thought we got. I thought that was very funny, while the whole school thought that was funny. Um, so those are some of the moments.
Yeah, yeah.
Look back, you know what? It was good. It was great.
So,
Definitely, it's a place one cherishes having
yeah.
been.
Do you think that everything that you've learned, stuff like independence, comes forward in my mind when I was in the hostel? It quickly accelerated my independence and my dependency on myself and my confidence in being my own man. Do you think that it's important for our kids to maybe send them to a place like New College, a boys' school that teaches discipline, because discipline is also a big part of how a hostel structure operates. How important do you think that is to send our kids to these types of schools?
For me, it's very important. I mean, what was nice, sure. When you are in the mix of it, you might not appreciate it. I mean, when you stayed at the hostel, everything had a time linked to
Yes,
it,
yes.
and you had no choice. I
Mm,
mean, you knew when you had to go and shower, you knew when you had to go, and eat, you knew when you had to go and do your homework, you knew when you had to go out in the field,
mm,
and also you and quickly. I mean, there were moments, because of that discipline. I mean, if you wanted to go downtown, you needed to think, sure, it's the full kit, it's the basha, and I can't get lifts. I can't hitchhike. I must walk all the way downtown and back. And those things, they teach you discipline, where you are always clear what you are going to do, and how quick, or when you want to do it. And you get into a routine where you quickly learn what is important and
yeah.
what is not important.
Mm, mm,
And and for me, those structures, I mean, they've become invaluable in how I operate today. I mean, at times I get reminded at home. I mean, I've got two daughters where I'm reminded, hey, this is home.
Yeah.
It's not a hostel, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's really, and if I had an option, definitely a hostel environment, this type of schools, it's fundamental
Yeah.
in terms of discipline. Yeah.
Cool. So now going back to the fondest memories, but now I want to know what is something that you have done, right? That nobody else knows. So basically, this is a breaking news thing now that you are telling us, but it needs to be attached with your time at school. What is something that people don't know about you that you've done? So break it for us. We want the breaking news.
Gee, I'm a grown up now, eh? So I mean, being at hostel, as I say, pretty much, you learned a lot of things there, and for me, it's funny because, as I said, I mean, I was a serious oak, but I think in my last year, in fact, it was after we had our metric metric farewell.
Mm.
I mean, I was known for my ginger beer, and that's when I tasted other beers only on that day for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of boys would not have known that to say, sure, Nyameko, you actually stole. But thank God, I mean, it's something that later on in my life, it didn't stick with me
Yeah.
because again, that discipline just kicks in to say, you know what's good for you, you know what works or doesn't work.
True.
So yeah, I mean, I tested my other first beer, yeah, in my matric dance.
So
But
the
before
first
that,
time you were
yeah,
drinking
ginger
was
beer
the
was
trip.
good. Uh,
I'm saying the first time you tasted alcohol was when you were in matric.
I was in matric on, on on my what's name matric
Right.
dance.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So my second last question. Um, so a part of this program is to encourage the young guys, right, that are still at school right now. What are some of the attributes that you think makes a successful man of Mio?
Look, it's developing earlier on, really a mindset to work. I mean, what do I mean? You've got to start and finish things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important in life, and also, to use the resources you have in front of you to
Mm-hmm.
still excel. To still do great things. This notion of saying, look, I'll wait when I've achieved certain things, I've accumulated certain things. A mindset to work asks you differently. It says, what do you have now? How
Mm-hmm.
can you mine it to achieve the things you need to achieve? And obviously linked to that, I mean, our past, even our current situations, they should not really determine our future. There's just so much more out there, so much more opportunity that we can chase, irrespective of what backgrounds we have. And I think also what has worked for me is earlier on understanding the magnitude of the gift that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you have that, then it doesn't matter. You'll pursue it, you'll fight through. And I mean, there's a notion where we've got two hands. Use the other hand to fight through, whilst you use the other hand to build what you are purposed for. So for me, really, those are sort of the nuggets that have driven me to where I'm at, and they trace back to the disciplines that we've learned
Mm-hmm.
at Mio as hostel boys.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, I want some parting shots from you. Um, the final close off. What are some parting words that you have for our young men back at school?
Look, to the young men of Mio, as I started earlier on, I mean, I'm one of the first cohorts back in 1991, in the 90s. And all I want to say to the young men of Mio is, irrespective of the noise that we pick up as we go through seasons, opportunities are always there.
Yeah.
If you are prepared to work hard, you are going to achieve. So all I can say to the young men of Mio, seize your opportunities, show up, and ultimately it's about you, not the others, in a sense of what you must achieve. I can't set the pace for you. You must set that pace for yourself. And there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Irrespective of backgrounds that we come from, there is no excuse. You will achieve. Just set your sights on it and show up.
Nyameko,
Okay.
it was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for those nuggets of knowledge that you gave our young men. It was a great interview. I hope you have a great day and a great year in business moving forward.
Sure. No, thank you, Nado. It's a privilege, and we remain second to none.
Always remain second to none.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
All right, man, that's a wrap. Nec pluribus impar to everybody. And as he said, man, you always have to remain second to none. If you haven't yet, please do follow us on our social media pages. We've got a page on LinkedIn, we've got a page on Instagram, we've got a page on Facebook, and we're also up on YouTube. And watch out for these episodes every second week, every second Wednesday of the week. We will upload more episodes. So please watch out for these episodes on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification button so that you'll be notified every time a new episode goes up onto the site. And from me, your host, Neto Machele, remain second to none. Cheers.